Hi, my name is Tom Miller. I'm a professor of English who specializes in the study of rhetoric, and I'm also currently the Associate Provost here at the University of Arizona. I'm looking forward to teaching our humanities seminars on For the Sake of Argument, Classical Rhetoric, Politics, and Ethics. In the class, we will look past the contemporary definition of rhetoric as the art of lying and consider the broader traditions in the humanities that upheld rhetoric as the art of reasoning well about shared truths. Classically, rhetoric stands at the pinnacle of the liberal arts tradition. As one of the liberal arts, rhetoric was charged with interpreting the shared assumptions against changing situations to speak to the common good. This conception of rhetoric is really quite different from one that you would have encountered unless you've taken one of the classes that I've previously taught in the humanities seminars on rhetoric. The broader civic conception of rhetoric lives on in some of our assumptions about what it means to be a well-educated person. When we look to someone to assess their character, we often look for our assessment of how educated are they, how well do they speak, are they able to develop sustained arguments about the issues that confront us. That notion that what distinguishes an educated person is the ability to speak with clarity and precision to the challenges that we face lives on from our classical conception of rhetoric, that the ability to articulate issues and arguments is what distinguishes an educated from an uneducated person. We practice the values of that presupposition when we say, well, have you considered this? Or I hear you arguing that. The title of our course, For the Sake of Argument, comes from such a commonplace, a rhetorical topoi, if you'd like, in which we will step back and consider rhetoric not as the art of lying well, but as the art of considering how to address the challenges that we face. How do our shared values and traditions speak to the issues that confront us? That's the challenge that we'll face in our seminar. And For the Sake of Argument, we'll have 4 seminars to explore the history of the humanities through the study of rhetoric. In our first class, we'll look to the skepticism of the sophists and the impact that it had on establishing a humanistic tradition based on the assumption that there are 2 sides to every argument. In our second class, we'll look to the writings of Plato, far more respected today than the writings of the sophists. In fact, he was the source for many of our negative viewpoints on them. He, in fact, coined our concept of rhetoric to distinguish his philosophy from that of his leading competitors. In our third class, we'll turn to Plato's best-known student, Aristotle. Aristotle formalized the arts of rhetoric, ethics, and politics, and established some of the precepts that are studied into the 20th century in each of those areas. In our final class, we'll look to Cicero, who set the standard for style and taste for the next millennium and a half. And we'll also explore the curious aspect of the Christian impact on humanism. Christianity is a curiously rhetorical religion. Unlike its predecessor, Judaism, the Christian concept of faith is framed as a persuasive process. You won't find a lot of Jewish evangelicals knocking on your door, because the idea of being persuaded to the faith tradition is distinctly Christian. These explorations will provide us with an opportunity to build on some of the discussions that we've had in the previous 4 humanities seminars that I've taught. On contemporary political rhetoric during the first election of Obama, the second election, and then on the 18th century rhetorical traditions that shaped the founding of our Constitution and our system of government. Rhetoric has been influential from the classical period through the founders of the Republic to the contemporary day, and I look forward to exploring its impact on how we think about values, how we reason together, and how we understand the virtues of a well-formed argument.